This video was recorded live before a canned studio audience. It's Friday Night Movie Reviews, and here they are, Chris and Keith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Keith.
I'm Chris.
And this is Friday Night Movie Reviews. We thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for being with us. We always like spending time with you guys. We like for you guys to come and spend time with us as well. We're going to review a movie that we saw over the weekend. So let's just get right to it.
Yeah, we saw Red One.
Right.
And this is following the trend of Christmas movies before Christmas time. So, but of course, for our international viewers that live outside the U.S., you're like, what are you talking about? It's Christmas time. These movies are totally an acceptable release period. So
now, have no fear. We are not just going to go on this trend of reviewing Christmas movies from now until the new year. This will probably be the last Christmas movie that we actually review for the time until it gets a little closer. Now, when it gets a little closer to Christmas, we will do it and pick it back up again, but this is going to be the last one. We just had 2 new releases that came out in the theaters, and we just thought, hey, you know what? Let's go see these, and let's review them. And hey, you know what? We're like one of the only groups that's actually reviewing either one of these movies.
yeah, it's really shocking. The movie was #1 this weekend, but unfortunately, it's following the trend of how most of Hollywood's going, where these movies are underperforming as far as their opening weekend goes. But as I like to mention, so did when he made Jumanji, The Rock. It was a slow burn. So This movie will probably continue to make money, and a lot of people I think are holding off watching this till it gets like closer to Thanksgiving weekend and maybe the weekend after that to watch, because these movies will hang around that long. So people I don't think are looking at it from the right way, that hey, this movie only made $30 million. Now, granted, they spent $250 million to make the movie, and you add probably another $17 million for advertising, because this movie was advertised,
and it's got some pretty big names in it. It's got Dwayne Johnson in it. Has Chris Evans. If you know anything about the Marvel movies, that's Captain America from the Marvel universe. Has Lucy Liu in it.
Yep.
Let's see who else is in it.
J.K. Simmons plays Santa Claus.
Right. So, and if you know him, he was if you remember him, that maybe the name doesn't strike you, and maybe the face doesn't really hit you too much. He was Peter Parker in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
not Peter Parker. J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man movies. So he plays Santa Claus. So it's got some pretty big name people in it.
Oh yeah.
And so if you go and see this movie, of course, this is a Christmas movie, so don't be too surprised with that. I mean, Red One and Santa Claus, that just kind of gives it away. But it's as far as like family type entertainment goes, this movie did have some language in it.
This one kind of toes the line, but it doesn't go too far over it. This one I think is on par as far as like language goes, kind of where The Goonies was.
Right, kind of like that. That's what it reminded me of.
If you've got kind of on the older side of children, like closer to middle school age, like maybe elementary school may not be able to handle some of the language in it.
Right.
But like middle school and onward, because we had the little one with us, and he was like, he knew they were saying bad words, but he knew they were wrong. But not every kid is like that.
Right.
So.
Nothing like Smile 2. So if
you saw our review on that
if you saw the review on that one, then you know Smile 2 is littered with it. But this one, not so much. But it was in there, and I agree with you. It was more kind of like on the line of towing the line of the Goonies.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of what it reminded me of as far as the language goes. Does have some action in it. So it is kind of an action-packed kind of movie. It does have a few kind of little adult jokes that go along with it, but it's not anything that the kids are going to be like, ooh. The kids are not going to notice it. It's going to be like The Simpsons. It's just going to fly right over their head, and they're not even going to notice it.
Yeah, it's definitely more of an action adventure type movie. Now it does still have the Christmas spirit in it. There is a message that the Rock's going through like a period of crisis in his life, and he slowly throughout the movie you'll see what happens with his character with that. So
Right.
it does have that nice little message in there.
Right.
So it still approaches it from like a family friendly Christmas movie. And I will say that like
And it does have some family intimate elements in it as
Oh.
far as like Chris Evans and his son goes.
yes, absolutely.
So it does have some action kind of things, a little bit of language in it. No adult situations in it at all. So you don't have to worry about shielding the kids' eyes or anything like that. So there's nothing like that in it. So basically, the basic premise of the movie is, and we're not going to give anything away. You'll be able to get just about all of this from the previews anyway. Santa Claus is abducted.
Yep.
Now, we're not going to tell you why he was abducted because that gives away part of the plot of the movie.
Yep.
But he is abducted, and Chris Rock,
The Rock.
The Rock.
Yes.
Sorry. The Rock plays Santa's number one security guy. Okay, so that's kind of the crisis that he's going through. I don't want to mention that either too much, go into the detail about that because that's part of the plot as well.
Yep.
But he's part of the security team that is watching out for Santa Claus, and he was on watch when Santa Claus was abducted.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that there are different elements in the movie. It turns out that they bring Chris Evans in to track Santa Claus because he's this big time. He can get into things that nobody else can get into.
And he can find people that can't be found.
And he
basically.
can find people that can't be found. Of course, he doesn't believe in Santa Claus because Santa Claus is a mythical creature, right?
Yeah. And he's always been a cynic, and throughout the movie, he has to take a little bit of a leap there, and you'll see what we mean.
Right. Right.
And but as far as it has really enjoyable characters in it, this one has the large scale feel of the world, how like Tim Allen's The Santa Claus felt.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
same
it
way with
reminded me
like
of that.
same way with like Polar Express. Like the North Pole is huge. It's like this huge city. Like you'll enjoy it for that part. I mean, I can see where the money was spent in this movie.
Mhm.
There's a lot of like Christmas puns in it, which we found great,
Yeah,
and they turn them
that's
into one-liners a lot of the time.
Yeah, turn a lot of them into like Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners. It really worked out very well.
So that was a
I
nice
liked
callback, but it was appropriate considering the subject matter of what they were discussing in
Right,
the movie.
right.
So
A lot of humor in the movie. There's
Absolutely.
a lot of comedic elements in it. And it was just it was enjoyable to watch as far as Christmas movies go because it was a different spin on Christmas movies.
it was.
It wasn't, hey, it's Santa Claus, Christmas spirit, giving gifts. Yeah, yay. It wasn't nothing like that. It was a totally and completely fresh look on Christmas movies and Santa Claus and the whole thing.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those. You have like your certain Christmas movies you watch every year. This was like one of the missing ones.
Mhm.
And I always tell people it's like a lot of your Christmas favorites were not huge box office hits either. So even
Right.
though this one may not be, like A Christmas Story, for instance,
Right.
is considered a cult classic. It bombed at the movie theaters.
Right.
Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
The Grinch.
It did not
Yeah.
do well till it got to video, and then it made up its money then.
Right.
And then so far, I think it's done very well afterwards because I mean, every year it's like in the top 10 list around this time of year.
Right.
So
And probably will be the same way with Best Christmas Pageant Ever
and this movie.
and with this movie.
Yeah, like this one just fits into that pantheon of movies, and a lot of it's like, do you take a chance and you see it and all that kind of stuff, and I think it's worth the gamble of seeing.
So let's get into the next segment. Was this movie worth the cash, or is it trash? What did you think about it?
I really liked it as I was going into it. Definitely, it definitely felt like a great Christmas movie. It's one that I look forward to owning and being part of my collection and making it a habit of watching it every year with the pantheon of Christmas movies. So as far as ranking those, as far as like, did it have the Christmas spirit? Did it have the family element that I'm always looking for when watching it? Is it something that I can rewatch every single year? This one definitely has it. So this one is more of like in the 8 category for me. And I know a lot of people are hesitant because they're like, oh, it's made by Amazon MGM, so it's going to be on Amazon Prime soon. So can I wait till Amazon? I'm like, yeah, sure. If you're just absolutely strapped with cash, you probably could wait. But I'm like, it's out now, and it's great to start the Christmas time of year to go see it. And especially if you've got nothing to do during the Thanksgiving weekend, if you're not watching football, this would be a great alternative to take your family to go see like in a matinee. So.
And I agree. I thought this movie was very good. I thought it was very well done. There were a lot of CGI effects in it. I thought that was really great. There was a lot of comedy in it, a lot of action in it. I thought Chris Evans and The Rock, I thought they bounced off of each other and played off of each other's characters very, very well.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think I've ever seen them in a movie together.
I don't think so. They've been in adjacent movies with other people they've acted with.
Right.
I think this is the first time they've been together.
But they did such a great job together that it was almost like they've been acting together for years.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
I'm sure this is probably one of the first movies that they've ever appeared in together, but it was great. And so it had a lot of really good elements in it. Like Chris, I'm going to give this about an 8.5 popcorns because this had a lot of the Christmas spirit in it. Like I said earlier, it was just a different twist on the Christmas spirit. And I think that's what made this movie so great for me was it wasn't the same old thing with Christmas trees. I mean, it had those things in it, but it was so totally different and so totally, it was just so well done with the difference of it that I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the acting. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed all of the elements of it. So it was really, really good. And I loved this movie. This, along with the best Christmas pageant ever, is going to be in my collection when it comes on Blu-ray. It's going to be in my collection. This will be one of those movies that I watch, that I put in my collection to watch every Christmas.
Oh, absolutely. That's the reason why I'm always recommending, like I recommend this one for sure, because this one is one you'll want to add to your collection. Like right. I really do feel like it is worth the cash as part of our tagline here. So
definitely is. So you would give it,
I give it 8.5, somewhere in there.
8.5 Pepsis.
Depending on the day, yeah.
Okay. 8.5 Pepsis. I give it 8.5 popcorns. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. The kid loved it. We took my son and he loved it. He laughed. There were a lot of jokes in it that he got, and he just found those things to be hilarious. And he laughed. And then right at the end, when they're playing the music at the end, they were playing, I forgot what the song was, but there was some song they're playing at the end, and he got up and started dancing right there at the end of it, right there in the seat, and he's dancing. So he enjoyed it. He had a lot of fun. Well, there's our cue to go.
Yep. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification for when our next video drops. Leave us a comment. What did you think of the Red Wine? What other movies would you like to see? We'd love to hear your comments on everything.
Exactly.
Just let us know.
Yeah, leave us comments on movies that you would like to see us review, and tell us some of your favorite Christmas movies. Listen, go and see this movie. Support it. Give it the money that it deserves, because this one really does deserve it. Along with the best Christmas pageant ever. So pack your family up in the car and head on out to the theater. Grab yourself some popcorn, grab yourself some Pepsi, and enjoy a good night with your family. Hey, we love having you with us tonight. We love spending time with you guys. Love when you spend time with us as well. Go get in your car and enjoy your movie.